So, I didn't really watch the Oscars, the Academy Awards last night, like I usually do. I was just relaxing, getting myself ready for today. Basically doing some speed washing and drying on my clothes that I would need. And, even though I didn't watch it, I did hear and see, because everybody, including my sisters, were posting it, as well as my nephews, were posting it online. I did see the Will Smith Chris Rock incident. And even though, as I speak right now, Will Smith has come out and apologized all across the board to not just the Academy once again for his behavior like he did last night, but also to Chris Rock. And that basically he ended it by saying he's a work in progress. But, when I look at what Will did, was it embarrassing? Yes. Was it something that he could have handled behind the scenes, like, at the after party or after the awards are done, and, he takes Chris aside and just talks to him, man to man, and say, hey man, can you stop making these jokes about my wife and my family? It's insensitive, especially to her. Could he have done that? Yes. Yes, he could. But I think what it was is that Chris Rock was doing it live on television for the whole world to hear. And I think what was going through Will's mind at the time, being a protective husband, father, a family man, was, protecting that family, protecting his wife. And he wanted to, obviously, in his mind, send a statement, in my opinion, to not just Chris Rock, but to anybody watching, that if you're going to, put my wife's name in your mouth, don't put it in a way that's going to get you in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. Now, give credit where credit is due. Chris Rock did remain professional, even though he was a little shook up, and it did kind of make the awards night a little awkward, if you will, for the rest of the evening. You got to give Chris credit for being professional. Now, do a lot of people, crap shit, if you will, on Will Smith's apology during his acceptance speech when he won his first ever Academy Award for Best Actor from King Richard? Yeah, people are going to shit on it. People are going to say it's a lame excuse. And, people have the right to say that, because a lot of people feel that what he did was out of line. That, as I mentioned earlier, and others have mentioned earlier, he could have been more professional about it and taken Chris aside after the awards were over, maybe at the after party, and just told him, hey man, you need to knock this off, because, if you could, because one day you could say it to the wrong person and they won't be as accepting, they won't be as tolerable as me, and they might do something worse than maybe, let's say, slap you across the face or whatever, or punch you. Could he have done, like I said, could he have done that? Yes. Absolutely. And this is why some people don't buy his speech, or what he said in his speech. Even though he teared up and everything, was very emotional and real about it, not a lot of people bought into it, which is why he obviously came out today and followed up on that apology, not just to the Academy and everybody watching, but to Chris Rock himself, basically saying that he was out of line, that what he did was wrong, and that he still has to work on himself. And like I said, as he ended the apology, today, to not just, the Academy and everybody watching the show and everybody that was there in attendance, but to Chris Rock himself, he ended it by saying he's a work in progress. And I think it speaks volumes when, when someone like a Will Smith comes out, not once but twice, and tries to make up for what they did, try to owe up for what they did. And for him to say that he, right now, as a family man, is still a work in progress, it's saying a lot. It definitely says a lot. Now, here's the thing though. If we look at it from I guess you could say, an unbiased standpoint, did Chris Rock kind of cross some lines in a very insensitive way? Absolutely. Because I think what happens with a lot of these stand-up comedians that get an opportunity to host the Academy Awards, or they get an opportunity to present an award at a major award show like the Academy, like the Oscars, you know, the Golden Globes, whatever. I think what happens is these stand-up comedians, after they've had a success on the big screen and even the small screen, like let's say Chris Rock has in his career, you know, sometimes I think what happens when they end up on stage, like the Academy Awards and the Golden Globe or any kind of award show, I think what happens is they forget that they're there to present, they're there to be respectful, and just being on stage, something triggers and they end up going into the routine of stand-up comedy. And what that does in the end is it gets them in trouble. And by getting them in trouble, it results in altercations, sometimes behind the scenes, you know, after everything is said and done, or in this case of what we saw last night, you know, on screen and on stage. And I think that's what happened with Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock, in my opinion, got into the moment and completely forgot, oh, you know, I'm here to present an award for Best Documentary Feature and not do stand-up. And I believe what's going to happen as a result of what took place last night, because even the Academy came out and said they do not tolerate violence of any kind. I think what's going to happen is the Academy is going to step in, because they have already had a lot of controversy coming down their throats, you know, due to the lack of diversity and everything, which is, you know, why they obviously allowed for an all-black, you know, production team, editing team, if you will, to take charge of, you know, running the awards presentation last night, to show that, hey, look, we are diverse. Look who we're allowing to run the ship behind the scenes, you know. But the Academy, like I said, has been in so much crap, you know, controversially, because of the lack of diversity and stuff, that this is something that obviously they did not need. So I have a feeling what the Academy is going to do is they're going to have to step up again, and they're basically going to have to, you know, probably put it straight out there. They're going to probably have to make a rule that if you're a comedian who's had a career in stand-up, who's done mostly comedy films, action, horror, whatever, any kind of comedy feature genre, that if you are chosen to present at the Academy Awards, that you need to leave the stand-up behind. You need to leave the comedic stuff behind. You need to leave it at home and be professional, because if not, we will ban you from ever appearing at this award show or any award show, period, ever again. Because the Academy, believe it or not, does have the power to make sure someone like a Chris Rock or even a Will Smith gets blackballed, you know, from any award show, including theirs. So I think what's going to come as a result is they're going to bring the hammer down in a way that, you know, they're going to basically say this won't be tolerated anymore, and if you're a comedian that's going to present an award at on our show or any show, you need to leave the stand-up behind. But what are your thoughts on what happened at the Academy Awards between Smith and Rock? Let me know down below. Comment if you like, and I am out.